Welcome back to the Mountain Buff Show. We have our continued mini-series that we're doing with our candidates. Today we have Laura Warburton of District 4 with us. Thank you, Laura, for coming and joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome to have you.
Thank you. This is going to be fun. Can you give us a little bit of background, like your family, home life, how long you've been in the Valley, etc.?
Oh, how long I've been in the Valley. That is a key question now, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm not sure like what time frame makes you like a native or
I think generational makes you native.
Yeah.
So my kids could say they're native,
Yeah.
but I could not.
Yeah.
So since my kids can't afford to live there right now, they don't get to make that claim.
Yeah.
However, I've been there 20 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And it was a heavenly stop for me.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, and people always have a hard time with this, but it's very true. I am very much an advocate, but I'm also an introvert. And so the quietness of the Valley when I drive over Trapper's Loop is heaven for me. And it allows me to feel the peace that I so desperately need.
Mm-hmm.
So within the 20 years that I've lived in the Valley, a lot of things have happened to us. And I've been a part of the community in meaningful ways for a very long time. I raised my 3 kids there. My youngest died there.
Oh, my goodness.
In her death, she died by suicide.
Wow.
And I have taken her death and learned from it. And I learned a beautiful term yesterday called post-traumatic growth. And so in my post-traumatic growth, I have started a nonprofit called Live Hannah's Hope. You can find that at livehannahshope.org, all spelled out. And what I do in my non-political life is influence politics to influence the state to address suicide and prevention and to bring resilience to our kids and to our law enforcement and to anybody who needs it. And so that's where my wheelhouse is. That's what I do. In the meantime, I have also been inserted in other areas in our community. Like I served for 8 years on the Planning Commission to help formulate how we build out on our beautiful land up there and to protect property rights. I am an adamant property rights person. And what that means is that I believe in the law. I have spent countless hours at the Capitol crafting policy and being given privilege that very few non-elective people have had, and that's because of the trust I have built with the legislators up there. And so I've been able to craft policy to not only protect property rights, but to help in all aspects, like I just mentioned, in prevention as well. But as far as land use, it's been quite the experience for me. I was the first woman chair elected to the Ogden Valley Planning Commission in the history.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
You would, I don't know if I want to admit this next part. So I'm from California, born and raised, but I've lived here longer than there.
Yeah.
Okay. Help me, Mr. Wizard.
Yeah.
Okay. That will just tell you what my age is. You guys have no idea what I just referenced, but any boomer will.
Oh,
okay.
That's funny.
Help me, Mr. Wizard. Help me. So, it was a challenge. I was challenged at every front being the chair, but it was such a great experience. And what a planning commission does is not what many people think that it does. What it does, it's just a recommending body basically to the county. The county appoints that commission and we serve at their pleasure. That's all that it is. And that we go over all kinds of code and laws and try to help formulate the different land use codes that may be developed. And once they're developed, they become law. And then people have the right to use those laws. And I like to see that there is equal protection for all people under the law. And when people start feeling that a law is immoral I understand that. They think, well, that shouldn't happen.
Yeah.
Like in the case of Eden Crossing. Yeah, we're just going to put the stinky fish on the table, okay?
Yeah.
All right. So people said that shouldn't happen. That was a moral quandary for a lot of people, and it supported the incorporation movement. It
Yeah.
was a perfect storm.
Yeah.
And so was it moral? Maybe not.
Yeah.
I can't decide what's moral for people. That's for them to decide.
Yeah.
Was it legal? Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so when it went before the county commission, I did stand in defense of the general plan, which my name is on. My signature is on that plan as the chair who passed it legally, and it's legally binding now. And it's a general plan, not a master plan. And so when I went before the county, I was advocating for that.
Yeah.
For that, I wasn't advocating for Eden Crossing. That was none of my business. That's John Lewis and their group. That's their
Yeah.
business. My business was to stand for what I created.
Do you foresee the general plan changing or morphing as we incorporate?
It has to a little bit because the state law has changed, and we have to include a couple different plans now. We have to include a water preservation aspect to it, and we also have to include affordable housing, which as a city now we're required to have. As an unincorporated entity, we were not.
That's interesting.
The county is. And so the county obviously is not going to put affordable housing up in the Ogden Valley or not. But anyway, that's a whole nother subject. So
I'm curious. Like now that we bring that up, what does that look like within the valley?
Let me finish that other last part because your question's very good. Do I think it changed? Every one of the candidates have said publicly that it is a great general plan.
Yeah.
And I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. The difference is do we think the circle here is what we meant to where the village centers were supposed to be, or do we think that meant a little bit out and a little bit in?
Yeah.
Okay, so are we going to keep strictly to it, or are we going to call it a general plan and say that's generally where it's going to take place?
Yeah.
And it really, what happens is the people right across the street from where that was going to be put in, where it's going to go in, it is going to go in. And I'm not speaking for any company now.
Right.
I'm just speaking purely from a legal point of view.
Yeah.
The only way that can't go in is if they're sued and some judge says they can't, which that's already been in court several times in different iterations and being struck down right now as we speak.
Yeah.
But what happened was the people across the street, and my opponent lives across the street, cried foul. This is not morally correct. They don't want that big thing across from them.
Right.
So when that happens, and as real estate people, and I do not like this term, and I always hesitate to use this term, but that is called a NIMBY, not in my backyard.
Yeah.
Right? We want to develop it, but we don't want it there.
Yeah.
So that's hard.
It's so hard. Yeah.
It is very hard because they have rights too, but they don't have rights over them.
Yeah.
Right? They have rights to do with their property, but not what happens in the property they
and
buy.
it's hard too because you move it, then it's in somebody. Like it's always going to frustrate somebody. Yeah.
Right.
Because it's going to be in somebody else's backyard, and so there's always going to be some conflict, and that's
So
that's
right
a hard
now,
thing.
my opponent is winning and handedly. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm being swamped. Right?
Yeah.
Because one, I was placed in District 4 on purpose. That's been confirmed to me. I won't tell you by who, but from insiders, I know now that I was placed in that so that I would lose because they knew I probably was coming. Well, I'm still coming. So you wish you could vote for me now, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay. The unfortunate part is that District 4 needs to hire somebody for District 4. And right now, if District 4 think the 500 people that voted for my opponent thinks that they should, then that is their right.
Yeah.
And I fully support that.
Right.
However, it is very limited just to this little thing. So I wish I could have everybody else in the valley vote for me, because if they could, then I think it would be a different outcome.
Yeah.
At least that's from what people tell me. And I do believe that is true.
Yeah.
But that's okay because I'm in District 4 and that's what has to happen.
Yeah.
But I will make sure that I am the voice of honesty and the stinky fish on the table. I will not let honesty.
So let's talk about affordable housing within the valley, because we run like monthly market updates right now. Median average sales price in the valley is like 1.1, like mid 1.1 million price range. And it's really hard. I've heard from multiple people, we need more younger families, but it's hard because they can't afford to be up there. And then there's a whole short-term rental issue where it's like you make those available, because I work with a lot of people, just even like somebody looking for a house in Ogden, we call it house hacking, where they can buy a house, rent out a basement or something like that, trying to generate income. It's like, okay, well, you make short-term housing short-term rentals available so they could do that. But then investors flock in because they're like, oh, it's just like, it's a double-edged sword all across the table, right?
Right.
We haven't really covered,
Short-term rentals?
well, no, affordable housing.
Okay.
What's your thoughts on it? Is there a solution?
Well, that's great. If I knew that, I'd be an advisor to Governor Cox and a lot of other people. So that's a great question, and it's a great thing for all of us to ponder. I think it's complicated. I'm not trying to spin the issue or try to get out of it. That's not my nature. So I do know that in confirmation with the county, that it's not affordable housing according to Ogden Valley. It's affordable housing according to the county. Think about that.
Right.
I guess I haven't fully like dove into all of the general plan, but there are areas that are zoned for more high density condos, and really the last like high density, more affordable condos was like Moose Hollow and Wolf Lodge, right?
And everybody hates John Lewis.
So
Short-sighted.
is there I guess there may be within the general plan some room for that, where the areas where that could happen potentially going down the road?
We will be legally bound
Yeah.
to do that.
Yeah.
And that's not just from the state, that's federal.
Yeah.
So we're going to have to find a way to do
Yeah.
that. Now, it doesn't mean that it has to be.
It just needs to be controlled, right? And done in
Yes.
the right
And
manner.
so what that means is that some of the candidates are so anti-developer that if you even mention that you like a developer, they will put that in the paper and crucify you all day long.
Right.
I was actually crucified for having realtors put my signs up in their yards. Do you know that realtors are supporting Laura? What? Realtors don't have the right to have an opinion and to be supported? Literally, I have posts that, right? Okay, I don't mean to get you all upset on my side now, but that is really, so some of these people that are now really looking like they may win are that way.
Yeah.
And they're looking to weaponize water, and they're already weaponizing water to keep developers from moving forward. So this is what has to happen for affordable housing. You have to make deals with developers because they go out and get funding from the government to do this. And we give them tax benefits, and we do certain deals with them. So I don't know if they really understand what's going on. I've been sitting with, we're now a community of 12 candidates that have been asked by the transition team to take over all of let's get the city ready and set up.
Yeah.
And I have been very concerned as I'm listening. I'm not sure all of them understand. And no offense, we all have a learning curve.
Yeah.
Okay. I do not be embarrassed about
I'll
asking
be the
questions.
first one to admit that I've been on a huge learning curve just doing this. So
Same.
No, good.
Yeah.
And good for you for asking
Yeah.
questions, and good for you for wanting to learn. But a lot of people don't even know where the taxes are going. Like, oh,
Right.
don't we get all the property tax now?
Right.
No,
right.
not even close. The county still gets our property tax. We get the city line tax that we had before that was called unincorporated city line tax.
Yeah.
Now we're on city line tax, and that goes to us. And then on top of that, we're in charge of all of our services.
Right.
Okay, so.
Yeah.
And
Do you realize what you're stepping into?
I know I'm losing, and I've not always gone, oh, darn. So no, but see, people will say to me, and I've had really mean attacks in the paper, and it's ironic that now that Chad beat me so much, that all those attacks have stopped. But the attacks were, we know you, Laura. We know that you were against the incorporation. I wasn't against incorporation per se, as against this feasibility study that I knew was inaccurate.
Yeah.
And guess what? At the big public meeting, the last big public meeting they had, the candidates' education forum, whatever they called, they admitted that. They admitted that we're short and taxes are going up.
Yeah.
So thank you. I walked away from that feeling very vindicated.
Right.
But I knew that anyway.
Yeah.
And I stepped into this anyway because I care. So if I've already seen the problems coming, doesn't it make sense that I can probably find solutions and that I want to find solutions? Someone slammed their hand on my table at a public event and said, "Why should we listen to you? You want just to make us fail." I live here. I do not want to fail.
Right.
I would be failing me. I would be failing my neighbors that I love. I don't make so much money that I want to pay any amount of taxes possible to stay living there.
Yeah.
That is just insanity. And so if someone is thinking that way, I have to wonder how they're thinking.
Yeah.
That's really bizarre. So
What made you want to run?
care. I
Yeah.
care. So what happened was I wasn't going to run.
Yeah.
I'm a mom, love and logic. They created this, let them fix it. Let them learn. But then the one person that was running dropped out. And so I made all these phone calls to people and said, "Will you run? Will you run? Will you run?" And everyone said no.
Yeah.
And so I went, "Oh my gosh, I'm going to have to."
Somebody has to. Yeah.
Right. And since I've
Yeah.
been so involved and
Yeah.
because I realized how many years, not only 8 years on the Planning Commission, but another 6 years on the Board of Adjustments, not to mention all my contacts at the state and my good relationship with the county, which we're gonna need.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know. Did you listen to that video I sent
I
you?
did. And that is another concern. Plowing was brought up for our valley, and that's just an extra cost that's incurred. And just maintaining our roadways, I know that we do not, I learned this the other day, we do not acquire those taxes, property tax, or our portion of the property taxes until the following December. So for the year from time of incorporation, what are we doing? I mean, we incorporate in the middle of winter. What are we doing to mitigate that?
So it's not as far as the following December. It's sooner than that we'll start getting taxes in, but that's sales tax and so forth.
Right.
So a little bit quicker than that. So it's not quite that bleak, but it's close.
Yeah.
It's close.
It feels pretty
absolutely bleak. So I was the argument against incorporation on the ballot. And the people that were the voice for incorporation on the ballot made it very clear to several people that not only were we not going to raise taxes, but we'd probably save taxes.
Yeah.
Absolutely not true.
Yeah.
And these are people that should have known, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I think the focus was so much that we want power and our own voice that they were willing. And there were a lot of people that said to me, "We don't care if we have to pay more taxes. We still want our own voice." Okay, well, they're about to get their wish.
Right.
Anybody that thinks that our taxes aren't going to go up, or they tell you they're not going to go up, or they try to skirt that. Now, there are other ways that we can get taxes. There are creative ways that we can get ongoing funding. But it all involves things like allowing more business in our community.
Allowing more revenue, which involves more people.
Yes,
Yeah.
which we don't want
Yeah.
because we don't want increased density. We don't want increased business. We don't want Eden Crossings. We
Yeah.
don't want John Lewis to build anymore. They've stood up and said, we don't
Yeah.
want to do. These are the people that are on slate to win.
Yeah.
So the only people left to pay for what all the services are going to be you and I. That's
Yeah.
it. Are you living up there?
Yep.
Okay, so you or I want to make sure that I'm just saying that
Yep.
correctly. So you and I and everybody else around us. So
Yes.
that's the reality of it. And if anybody else tells you anything different, like they try to say, well, there's other creative forms of revenue streams. That's true.
Yeah.
Taxes are going up.
Well, I think it's going to be a bumpy road for for a minute.
Yeah.
Because we're basically, here's the keys, and it's like, keys to what? Like there's no building, there's no
right.
infrastructure. Like you have to start it from
Right.
ground zero.
Well, we're renting out from Huntsville.
That's kind of
Using their new town hall, or okay.
Yes.
yeah. Let's jump into maybe short-term rentals. What are your thoughts
Okay.
on those? Yeah, I'll
Okay.
let you run with it.
So short-term rentals weren't completely resolved when I left the Planning Commission, and they were a great concern to me.
Yeah.
I think if they were managed properly and that we were more of a pro-business community, that it would be much better. So I think that anybody that has off-street parking should be allowed to have a short-term rental. And I expressed my concerns to the commissioners when they did that. That's not how it was formulated. It was
Yeah.
relegated to certain areas. And okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
I'm good with that. There's still people that are doing it. The other thing that has to be happening with short-term rentals, one, there is so much money we could be getting from these.
Yeah.
If we invited people to do licensing reasonably.
Yeah.
And that's,
Permits.
yes,
Yeah.
permits. That is the key. And then once we get those permits, we've got to take a certain amount of money out of that and dedicate it 100% earmark it for enforcement.
Yeah.
So enforcement has to be driven by complaint.
Yeah.
Okay, so if there is a complaint, it has to be followed up. So and then the law has to be written so well that it defends us from lawsuits. So it can be written as simply as, if you get one complaint, you are on a 30-day notice. If you get another complaint within 30 days, then you've revoked your license and we will put a lien on your home. Okay? So it can be done that easily. So we have to find ways to protect ourselves.
Yeah.
But at the same time, allow people the right to rent out their basement so that they can live there. Because I'm telling you, grandma and grandpa aren't going to be able to live there anymore unless they can utilize their property to pay the enormous property taxes
Yeah, and
around the way.
it's hard. It's frustrating because even people with their houses paid off, they still pay to live there
Right.
quite a bit. And
Right.
it's a beautiful we live in a beautiful area, beautiful
Mm-hmm.
place. Like it's good and dandy supporting the amenities and everything that we receive, but it can get out of hand at times. So we're trying to find that control. What excites you most about the future of our little city?
What excites me the most? The first thing that comes to my mind is this election being done, this first 4 years being done, and then I think we'll all calm down and getting back to more of the community I think that we really are.
Yeah.
Because ever since I moved there, it's been one beautiful support of community member after community member. And I think we all miss that. And I know that some people warned that that would be gone. And some people are in shock. I've heard, like, is this really how it's going to be? You know, is this really what's going to happen? Yeah, I think the first 4 years are going to be really rough. I think the 67% overall people that voted in what typically is about a 20% turnout for a municipal, an election, very, very odd.
We had so many people voting.
Yes.
Yeah.
So typically, if you look at all the other and years and all the average is about less than 20% of people. So in the future, about 20% of the people are going to be deciding who runs us.
Well, I think it's because it's new. Like it's once in a lifetime, really, that you get to create a new city from scratch. And I think that's why it's so. Like whoever those that get elected, I mean, you're basically laying the foundation for the new city, right? And
yes and no. I think it's hard to go back on taxes. It's hard to, I mean, who ever heard we're going to lower your taxes, right?
Yeah.
Even though I'm a realist, and I am such a realist, I'm also an optimist.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I think this election is so stinking important.
Yeah. So how can people get involved and get more informed? Because I think a lot of people, most people are just busy and they catch glimpses here and there, but like, what do you recommend for average person in the valley that's really busy, has kids? Like any ideas on what they can do?
Call the persons that they have an opportunity to elect. Right
Yeah.
now, that's only 4 people. That's not a lot of time.
So you're
Or
the 2
effort.
mayor candidates,
Yes.
and then those that are in your district.
Yes.
Those 2 candidates in your district. Get to know them, because that's the
Yes.
biggest thing that you can control.
Interview them.
Yeah.
Because this is a business.
Yeah.
You're hiring somebody that's going to run your business. The CEO, the
Yeah.
CFO.
Yep.
Make sure you're not just loyal to a name. Make sure that you're loyal to principles. It's
Yeah.
got to be principles over people.
Yeah.
And it's, even for me, it's still principles over people. I am shocked at how many people that were pro incorporation that I'm now aligned with
Yeah.
and that I value, because now our principles align.
Yeah.
And so I'm willing to say, okay, you felt strongly at that point about that. Now we have a different thing to overcome. So let's do that together.
Yeah.
And so I am all about principles over people. And I don't want to hurt anybody. But I have worked really long not to be codependent either. So I am not interested in you paying more taxes so I can save somebody's feelings.
Yeah.
Get over it.
Right.
You're a big boy, big girl.
We've talked about what excites you. What's most concerning?
Really? We haven't covered that?
I mean, it's true. We have touched most of it, but
Okay.
what's one area that you think just needs our attention in that first 100 days? What's the one thing that you would single out?
I honestly did not read all the way down to that question, so this is really raw for me, but I like raw. So the one thing that I think we really need to focus on in the first 100 days is to get our land use code up and running, remove TDRs from how land use works is there's codes. Those codes, if it's not written in the codes, it's not allowed. So for example, there's nothing in our code right now that allows for an airstrip. So nobody that flies and takes off and lands in the Ogden Valley is doing so legally. Okay. So, that's not pointed at anybody. That's just a perfect example.
Right.
So I think we need to take form base out for right now. I'm not saying it should go out forever. I actually think form base has a place, but maybe not right now until we really look at it and decide as a community how to go forward. I think we need to take TDRs out.
Can you briefly explain what those are, TDRs and form base?
Okay, so form base is just a way of, so like Eden Crossing is going to be a form based. Okay, the new building that's right on the corner across from Carlos,
Carlos and Harley's,
that's a form based building. It has businesses in the bottom and residents on top. So it's form based, you take it, and there's all kinds of aspects to form base. And if anybody really wants to know, just go online and say, ChatGPT, tell me what form based building is. Okay, do that.
Yeah.
So it's too much to cover right now.
Yeah.
So TDRs are
transferable development rights.
Yes. So what that is in our valley right now, it's blanket. You need 3 acres minimum to build a home. Now, what happens if you have 20? Okay, if you have 7.5 acres, and you want to put 2 homes on there, you have every right to do that. Okay. What if you have 30 acres and you want to put just 2 homes, or you want to have a little family compound? You can put each home on a smaller parcel, like a 1/4 acre, and then you can keep open land that equals out totally. So if you have 3 homes, it has to be 30 acres, or 3 homes times 9 acres, 9 acres total. It has to be. So you have to always account for that 3 acre minimum.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then you can sell the other units or rights, right?
In that case, specifically the case, probably not.
Okay.
Okay. But if you want to go build, like let's say another, I don't know, what's right above you off River
Eagle
Road?
Ridge.
No. Okay. Further south, right above you? Not Eden Acres. What is it called?
Eden Hills.
Eden Hills.
Yeah.
Okay. All those homes are on smaller.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's say that developer wanted to do that again.
Yeah.
Okay. But they didn't want to make open space.
Yeah.
And it's open space is not always a great thing because
Yeah.
it can become rural Blythe really fast,
Yeah.
a tinderbox, right?
Right.
So they go, wait a minute, I've got all this land over here that's buildable.
Yeah.
It's on the valley floor.
Yeah.
And I've got 500 building rights over there.
Yeah.
I'm going to take those building rights
Move them.
and move them.
Yeah.
And I'm going to sell them to somebody else.
Yeah.
So then that becomes unbuildable
Yeah.
space.
Yeah.
That's what TDRs
Yep.
do.
It's moving density, basically.
Basically, exactly
Yeah.
right. So you know that.
Yep.
Okay, so that's a beautiful thing. However,
It can be manipulated.
it can be manipulated. So we need to take a step back from that, look at who controls that. I mean, you guys understand how when you sell a property, it has to go into escrow. Do we put those into escrow? Do we have to, put an easement on that property?
Yeah.
Where does that property go? There's a lot of things that just need to be identified, worked out. And to me personally, I think it needs to be more of a open market driven, but I'm a market driven person.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but see, you can right there, there's a lot of ifs and whats. So let's pull that back and let's just look at it and see. So, but primarily get that code in place. And I think it'd be really easy just to sweep the whole code over almost, except we have to take out anything that references Western Weaver, which it does now.
Yeah.
But it'd be fairly simple. So I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is that lawsuits are going to come up.
Yeah.
They're already up.
Yeah.
And they're up by people that are running for office. Okay. And if they're willing to sue us, because that's what you're doing when you sue the county, you're suing all of us, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
So if we don't protect ourselves with really solid code, when the developers like Clyde, who are now developing Nordic Valley, who are some of the biggest and strongest developers in the nation, let that sink in for a minute. If we try to take away their vested rights in a state that is property rights managed,
Yeah.
what's going to happen? We're going to be sued.
Right.
Why are they not fighting incorporation? I know why they're not fighting incorporation. Because it's easier to sue a city. And I tried to warn people of this. It's easier to sue a city than it is the county. And the county understands their fiduciary duty. They understand the laws. They can't take away their vested rights. They know, so they wouldn't dare.
Yeah.
So they get to build.
Yeah.
And it's just a matter of how they get to build and the development agreements. So we need to get our code in place as fast as we possibly can and make it rock solid. And then have everybody on that commission or that council understand their fiduciary duty, and they can't go, oops, I don't want this built in front of my house, so I'm going to vote no.
Right.
Because if they vote no,
Yeah.
they're not, they are not protected from being sued individually.
Right. Yeah.
And pretty soon, those pretty little houses that they all live in a row could all be gone.
Yeah, that's
They're not
interesting.
thinking that way.
Right.
Most people don't. So that's where my mind is
Yeah.
the protection. And oddly, I'm trying to protect them too from themselves.
Right.
And they don't get that.
Yeah.
They won't even listen to this, I doubt.
Yeah. Just making it black and white, not gray. Everything so it's clearly specified.
Yes, as much as possible, because that's where lawyers live.
Yeah.
They live in the untouched gray area.
Because the final candidates, they're going to have to work together. How do you foresee all that coming to play, and how do you feel like you would do being the final, like, okay, we got a teamwork, right? We
Right.
might have differentiating opinions and stuff like that. What are your thoughts on that?
Okay, I've been accused of not wanting to play with people, which
Yeah.
I know that I get that. So let me tell you, that just happened.
Mm-hmm.
So they wanted to write a letter in response to that video of the county commission meeting. And my first thing was, no, it's not appropriate. That's not our job. Our job is to do something different. They all wanted to do it. I said, okay, but I won't put my name on anything that has anything to do with the lawsuits. That's not my business. It's not my problem. And it's not. And they all wanted to do that. So I said, okay, I'll acquiesce. I'll do this. This is the one I choose. This is the one I like. And then somebody else called me and said, you know what, I don't feel good about this. One of the bigger leaders that's going to win. And I said, I didn't either. So I acquiesce I now don't support any of it. So I will acquiesce if the whole group wants to do it within my boundaries, within my personal boundaries.
Yeah.
I work well with other people.
Yeah.
There's no way I don't work well with other people. I sit on so many commissions and councils in the state. Everything from Safe UT, run a council for parents and children that we counsel and we advise, to Safe UT Commission, to UBIC, which is a Utah Brain Injury Coalition.
Mm-hmm.
I know how to work with people.
Yeah.
I also know how to be an assertive voice. And so it's not me that's the problem. It's them listening to reason and not just being quiet and going, well, Laura's too strong.
We talked about how can residents get involved right now. Within the next 60 days, it's really reaching out to their two candidates and really interviewing and going through that process with them. I think that's super important. How do you plan on staying connected with people like throughout the next 60 days? Are there ways that people can get in touch with you?
Yeah.
What's the easiest way?
So I just submitted a letter to the editor, and I know that it's going to be printed, and my phone number is on there.
Okay.
I am so accessible.
Yeah.
I am overly accessible. So my phone number is 801-458-2997.
Awesome.
Text me. I don't always answer calls I don't recognize, but I'm doing that more right now.
Right.
I answer, listen, okay, you want what? You want
yeah.
on my roof? I don't think so. Click,
Yeah.
take me off your list. But text me. Don't be afraid to ask me the tough questions.
Yeah.
If you're calling just tell me that you hate me, then you can probably skip that.
Yeah.
But if you really feel like you need to get off your chest, I'm a big girl. I can handle that too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I help people all the time overcome their anger issues. That's okay.
You can be the punching bag.
I can. I won't submit myself to that for 4 years, but anybody who gets into office has to understand that that's part of the job.
Yeah, for
That
sure.
people are not, everything that happened over Eden Crossing, all those people that went and yelled at the county commissioners and did it privately and sent all those emails to them have got to understand that's going to happen to them.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
going to be decisions they make. Okay, so getting back to your question, I am accessible. I've given Whitney my website and the group that I run, Ogden Valley Citizens, on Facebook, and that is open to anybody that's wanting to have a polite conversation. I've even let people attack me. There comes a point where I'm done.
Yeah.
There are other places like Smart Growth. If you want to go visit their website, if you align with them, great, go do that.
Mm-hmm.
But all that becomes an echo chamber eventually.
Yeah.
And so really, I want to just double down on talking to the candidates. You've only got 4 phone calls to make.
Yeah.
It's essential.
That is a really good piece of advice. I think because originally, like when I was looking at it, I'm like, man, there's so many candidates, and there's like, it was like this big daunting. I'm like, I don't even know what to do. But if you break it down like that, you got 2 mayor candidates and then your 2 district candidates. That's really all you need to get to know, and
Yes.
then make an educated decision based on those 4, and you're set. And then further on down the road, you can figure out other ways to get more involved. But that's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Once elections are over and everything like that, how do you think the public and the residents can stay involved? Like what will that look like? How can they stay involved and help out in ways once all the dust is settled and it's like, okay, it's time to get to work?
My experience with the public is they usually don't show up until they're angry about something.
Right.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
It's
if,
just
if it's running smooth, or you don't all get thank yous and
right.
cards.
Right, right. No, what happens is the work is done, the laws are in place, and then the minute something is being done within that law across the street from them, then, and it doesn't matter. I'm not just referring to Eden Crossing at this point. It is.
Yeah, it's just there's going to be countless ones coming down the road.
They'll go, wait a minute, this is not okay. You know, it's not okay that this person has a dog kennel next to me. It's not okay. You know, their dogs bark too much. You know, it's not okay for this. And so at that point, you know, it's just angry people. Yeah. And I understand that. Where you want to be involved is when the laws are being constructed and you want to have good input. So the best thing that somebody can do if they really want to be involved is apply for the Planning Commission. Yeah. The Planning Commission, again, is not a lawmaker. The only people that can make laws or spend your money are elected officials, period. That's their fiduciary duty. The Planning Commission does the work, does a recommendation, and then it's either adopted as law or not. Cool. So applying for the Planning Commission.
Well, and there's going to be tons of jobs and different things, like volunteer work once we get going. Like I've seen a number of postings like, we're going to need help in these areas, right?
Right. So that's all coming from the transition teams. Yeah. And so the transition teams are burnt out. Yeah. And that's why they handed it over to the 12. Yeah. And so where do we need volunteer work? I can't answer that right now. We've had one meeting. I am not up to speed on everything that they've done so far. Stay alert, stay informed. Yeah. You know, eventually there will be a website that is for the city. In the meantime, go to the incorporation site. Mm-hmm. That's still the place for, I believe, all news. I haven't seen our latest video there yet, the one for the candidate training.
Yeah, candidate university, I think.
Yeah, that should be up. That should be up.
I did get an email on that. Yeah. How was that?
It was alarming. It was good. It was terrifying. It was vindicating. It was
a little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was experts. It was dummied down a little bit. Mm-hmm. I knew it was because I know what the real numbers are, and I know that Ron Gleason, who is a forensic accountant, in my opinion, has more to say, but is being very careful about what he says. Yeah. And so I can't speak for him. Yeah. I'm not speaking for him. He is a very gentle soul, and I appreciate all the work that he has done. But yeah, we're in trouble. We are. And that's what came out.
We initially started these interviews like, hey, it'd be cool to get people on. And definitely as we dive into what lies ahead, it is like more and more, I'm like, man, this is a huge task.
It is.
A huge mountain that we have to climb.
Can we do it? Absolutely.
But I think people need to realize that anybody that's involved, and we've had a lot of good people come on and talk, and I think everybody really wants
the same thing.
The same thing, right? It is the kind of, and we haven't interviewed everybody. We're just kind of starting, but it seems like everybody has a deep love for the Valley, and I think we're all kind of going in the general direction, but it's just like getting everybody in sync, you know? And I think that's always going to be a challenge. It is with everything, but.
Well, I think, honestly, you're dead on. I think we all want the same thing. It's just, how do we get there? Yeah. Right? And so we all want the Valley to stay rural, right? We're a city now. Yeah. So how does that fit together? Yeah. Okay. It doesn't mean that we lose our rural feeling. We really can keep that if we allow people to keep their land and keep it affordable for them. That's really going to be key, as long as we protect ourselves with good code. Yeah. I can't emphasize enough, and this is coming from, what do I have to lose, right? Except another general election. Yeah. I am the right person to get us there. I am the one that has the knowledge and the willingness to do it. Let me do it. let me do it. Don't choose somebody just because, for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, be educated.
Yes, right. People say I don't have a filter, and it might even appear that I don't right now, but I do. I do, and I just want to help this happen with all my heart. So much so that, that it's caused problems for my heart. That's my problem, not anybody else's problem.
You're all in now.
I am all in.
Yeah.
And if I can follow one leader, if one person wins as mayor, I am all in.
Mm-hmm.
If another one wins, I am out. I will not be a part of what's going to happen. I won't be able to fight it. I will just end up being the person that they accuse for everything, because I already am.
Yeah.
So it's going to go one way or another for me. And that's not trying to hold a grudge or be rude against the city or anything like that. I just know that I will not be utilized if one person wins.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
If that's the way they want it, that's the way they'll get it.
Let's say we had one billboard in the valley and you had the unique opportunity to put something on it. What would you put on it?
Choose me.
Yeah.
I love you. Choose me, please. Let me help you. It would have to be a talking one, though.
Yeah. One that does video and audio.
Yeah. And billboards are not allowed in there, by the way, so we can't do that. We have them as big as we can.
Yeah.
But I appreciate that. I did see that question. I went, that's kind of a cool question.
Yeah, I thought it was a unique question.
Yeah, it's a cool question.
And I think you covered why you think you're the right person for the job. So thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
Last minute things you'd like to share with the listeners before we wrap up?
No, if you've listened through this whole thing, thank you. Thank you. And thank you for your good interviews. I love a good interview.
Yeah.
And I've had many, many, many.
Yeah.
Right. And you guys are good.
No, I'm glad you could come on, and I think this is helpful for people to get to know you and what you stand for and your background and everything. So we'll link all your websites, your contact info, all that, so people can reach out to you. Okay. Definitely if you're in District 4.
Yes.
Reach out, get connected, and get involved. So thank you guys.